What's up, friend, and welcome back to a new video on the MTG Arena YouTube channel. My name is Ashlizzlle, and today we're doing one of the things that I love the most in the world, which is talking about competitive Magic. Now we're having a look at a deck list from the Arena Championship 7, and we're looking at Yuta Hirosawa's deck list, which is blue-white artifact aggro, is what I would call it. And this list is very spicy. There's a lot of unusual choices in here, so let's have a look. So I absolutely adore the blue-white artifact aggro archetype in Standard. It's one of my absolute favorites to play. So when I saw that somebody registered this for the Arena Championship 7, I knew I had to check it out for this video. And there's a couple of choices that are being made in this deck list that are super spicy and very unusual. One of them is the Steel Seraph basically not existing in this deck. It is a staple in every artifact aggro deck that I've ever seen. It's a 3-mana 3/2 flyer. It's an artifact. It gives flying, vigilance, or lifelink to a creature. Now, normally that card gets in here because it goes super well with the Regal Bunnycorn. 2-mana rabbit, whose power and toughness are each equal to the number of non-land permanents you control. This deck is all about having a ton of non-land permanents on the board, so that Bunnycorn usually grows very large, and it basically could be like 10 life gain for you with the Steel Seraph, or 10 points of damage if you throw the Bunnycorn into the air. So that not being in here is very unusual. I think it's been replaced by Case of the Filched Falcon, which is a 1-mana enchantment case, and in order to solve it, you need to control 3 or more artifacts. And once it's solved, you sacrifice a case and you put 4 1/1 counters on a target non-creature artifact. It becomes a 0/0 bird creature with flying in addition to its other types. So yeah, this is a very low curve, aggressive version of the blue-white artifact aggro deck. As if it couldn't get more aggressive, this deck finds a way to do it. Now, another card that I feel like is really missing that's a staple is a lot of the blue-white artifact aggro players have started to play Sheltered by Ghost in the main. In this deck, we see it in the sideboard. Sheltered by Ghost is very powerful, 2-mana enchantment, and when it enters, you exile a target non-land permanent opponent controls until Sheltered by Ghost leaves the battlefield. Enchant the creature gets +1/+0 and has lifelink and War 2. So this card usually sees play in the main because, once again, those insane life gain turns with a Bunnycorn or a Zoetic Glyph, which becomes a 5/4 creature when it enchants an artifact. So that's pretty significant, but we see it in the sideboard here. Maybe it's because this player was anticipating a lot of Dimir, and Sheltered by Ghost can be a little bit dangerous against Dimir. However, I found myself that if you put Sheltered by Ghosts on an artifact creature, which means that you dodge go for the throw and make it a little bit, higher toughness so that it dodges cut down, it's not very easy to remove. So for me, it was still fine in that matchup, but this player probably didn't want to take the risk and just shoved it in the sideboard. It's still absolutely fantastic against any red deck, which is probably where we're deciding to board it in once we get the sideboarding. Outside of that, I see a lot of common cards. The 4 copies of the Duskgrowth Reliquary. I absolutely love this card. I think it's so well positioned in Standard. Everybody has enchantment hate. Not many people have artifact hate. So it's a 1-mana artifact. As an additional cost to cast a spell, you have to sacrifice an artifact or creature. It's got War 2. When it enters, you exile a target artifact or creature and opponent controls until Duskgrowth Reliquary leaves the battlefield. So it's just good removal. Like I said, not many people can reach it because it is an artifact. And it's very easily cast in this deck because you have so many cards that leave behind artifact permanents. We have Novice Inspector, which investigates, so it leaves a clue token behind. Spyglass Siren, who leaves a map token behind. Case of the Filched Falcon leaves a clue token behind as well. So all of those dudes are out here making artifacts for us. You have Mockingbird, 4 copies, which can enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield with mana value less than or equal to the amount of mana spent to cast Mockingbird. So then if you copy Novice Inspector or Spyglass Siren, you have another artifact token that gets made. So that shouldn't be an issue at all. Mockingbird is also in here, incredibly spicy with the Regal Bunnycorn. A lot of a big strategy of this deck is basically making that Bunnycorn fly, which is why Steel Seraph was in here. But this player just thinks that the Mockingbird as 4 copies is probably good enough to do that. So it'll definitely do the trick. You can copy the Regal Bunnycorn for 2 mana, and then you have a really big flyer, which is fantastic. So Subterranean Schooner is a one-off. I really love this card, 2-mana 3/4. Probably gives you a little bit of resilience against board wipes or anything. And just a 3/4 that crews for 1 and explores for you. It's great value. I'd love to see this card show up more in these decks. And then we're talking about a pretty big win con in here now, which is Warden of the Inner Sky, the 1-mana 1/2. When it has 3 or more counters on it, it has flying and vigilance. And you can tap 3 untapped artifacts and or creatures you control to put a 1/1 counter on Warden of the Inner Sky. Scry 1, activate only as a sorcery. So with all of those permanents that these dudes leave behind, you can just really make your Warden go crazy, scry to the right cards in the deck, and obviously make it a fantastic win con as well. There's also a spicy 4 copies of No Moralize in here. That's really exciting to see. And yeah, outside of that, we have a sideboard to look at because we're going to be playing best of 3 Really excited that a lot of you have been excited to see me play best of 3. So I'm definitely going to keep it going. Like I said, we see Sheltered by Ghosts in here. I'm just going to keep it super simple, just so you have kind of like a general idea of what's going on here and what these cards like usually get brought in for. Obviously, there's like a little bit more nuance to it, but to keep it as simple as possible, Sheltered by Ghosts is probably a card we want to bring in against like these aggro decks because it's good removal and it is lifelink, so we care for that. We have 1 copy of Rest in Peace, which will be brought in against, you know, any deck that works the graveyard. We have 2 copies of Cryptic Code. Now, I think this card is in here to help you grind more in like mid-range matchups. There's probably something we want to bring in against like Golgari or Dimir. 2 copies of Glass Casket, a little bit of extra removal, probably something that we want to bring in against, you know, aggressive decks as well. 4 copies of Destroy Evil, which is a very hateful card. You either destroy a target creature with toughness 4 or greater, or you destroy an enchantment. I'm assuming this is in here to help you against maybe mono white token control, or perhaps the Azure Overlord decks, which are all about like enchantments and big creatures. And there's 2 copies of Surge of Salvation, which is basically your protection against a ton of removal heavy decks, especially the black decks. Maybe you can even board it in against red aggro, because you get you and permanents you control gain hexproof until the end of turn, prevent all damage that black and or red sources would deal to creatures you control this turn. Can be pretty relevant in that. With all of that being said, let's finally check out what this deck list has to offer for us. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the official MTG Arena channel though. It really helps everybody out, and there's a bunch of other fantastic creators on here that'll bring you really great content, so you don't want to miss out on that. With that being said, Wizards, thank you for letting me make another video for you guys. Let's get started. Alright, so this deck actually had 23 lands, which I thought was quite a lot for the curve, and it shows. But I'm still keeping this because I really like the turn 3 Zoetic Glyph. I think it's incredibly strong. So hopefully there's not a lot of disruption here. We'll see. If I build this deck, I would have probably gone 22 lands, if not 21. So if you felt like maybe making some changes and you're feeling a little brave. Alright, we're just going to start off with a Spyglass Siren here. It's a very solid creature. Definitely one of the best turn 1 plays in here. Alright, we have been blessed. There's another Zoetic Glyph in our hand. So let's just start off with a Flood Farm Verge here. I'm going to probably try to start off with... I mean, I could obviously explore, but we want to keep the map tokens around for the Zoetic Glyphs. So I'm just going to go to combat here. See if my opponent wants to do something. They do. They're tapping my Spyglass Siren, which is a little bit of a choice. It's very aggressive. Maybe it's because they want to develop Kaito. But then I feel like you'd want to just tap whatever blocker I have, you know? So I'm just going to try to block the Flood Pit Drowner here. Deny the Kaito from happening. If they want to deal with my Siren, then they're going to have to, like, use it now. Sacrifice a non-token creature. Okay. We don't really care about this Spyglass Siren. We care more about these Zoetic Glyphs, like, getting onto the battlefield. They've kind of done their job, you know? They left an artifact behind. That's kind of all we need them to do for now. So now it's time for us to go crazy. Let's put this Zoetic Glyph in play. Now the greatest thing about Zoetic Glyph is that if these artifacts have been on the battlefield for longer than a turn, you can immediately attack with it, so pretty sweet. Truly one of my absolute favorite cards in Standard, and I'm not even joking. I think it's severely underrated. One of my favorite decks of all time plays it, my beloved Simic Cookie deck. You might be familiar. Alright, so they're stunning that. Interesting. Very in the defense here. Alright, so this is actually an interesting spot to be in. Because now we have to think about what are the threats here. Kaito, I feel kind of annoying. Is Kaito worth getting rid of the Zoetic Glyph? I mean, it is still stunned for quite a while. So I almost want to say, like, this is worth doing for me. So we're going to start off with Duskrow's Reliquary. We're going to sacrifice our map, which means you get to discover 3. Get a 1-drop. I mean, that's most likely going to happen in this deck. There's not a lot of 3-drops in here, so can't be too upset with that. So we're going to grab the Siren, then we're going to play the Zoetic Glyph, which will be a 5-4. And then we're going to take out Kaito. Also really like keeping the Duskrow's Reliquary for the Enduring Curiosity, but first of all, they don't have any creatures on the board, and second of all, I could just copy it with Mockingbird or something, which would be pretty fun. Okay. So Bad Grab's our only card left. That's unfortunate. I was, you know, hoping to save that. It's okay, though. The worst thing about this is that they now get like a decent flyer with life gain. Okay, dodge that one. So they're still holding up 2 mana. This could be another Fluffbit Drowner, possibly. Removal. I mean, most of the removal that they have access to in the mirror is cut down and go for throw. This deck does a pretty good job at like trying to dodge both. So that's one of the upsides to playing this. Alright, so we have Spyglass Siren here. What I think I'm gonna do... There's technically like 2 things that we can do here. We can either make a Might token, or we can put a map token on the Spyglass Siren, which gives us a better blocker, and then crack the clue. Which I think I like best here, so... Let's see what happens when we do this. Maybe it baits removal out. Alright, so we rip a land off the top. It's still okay, like, the Siren could still trade with the bat. Okay, so Fairy Mastermind is here. I could crack this now. You don't have to do it, of course, because if you have it on your turn, then, you know, the Fairy Mastermind still doesn't draw. Alright, so the opponent is basically in top deck mode now, but they can still activate that Mastermind to potentially draw 2 cards. Alright, so this is why I was hoping for the Siren to be 2 power, 2 toughness, because you could block the Deep Cavern Bat, but... It is what it is. It is what it is. Our map did not hit, so... Alright. Yeah, like, ideally, I just don't want to block this. I kind of want to keep the Mastermind in check. I mean, I don't want to just lose my Siren here for a 2-2, so... We're just gonna have to accept that, I think. Come at me, bat. Yup. I don't know if they... Is this a potential... What is this? Is this Kaito? That's really interesting, actually. So with Kaito, they can hit me for 3. Uptick and grab cut down. And I think that's worth over Deep Cavern Bat. Okay. Interesting. So I'm just gonna draw a card here. A new Siren? Happy to see it. Yeah, there's a lot of lands going on now here. Not the best. Alright, so I'm gonna pressure the Kaito with my 5-4 and the rest can go phase. Let's see if they feel like trading to save... Or trading chumping to save the Kaito. They do! Wild. Alright, so I'm just gonna do Siren. I'm gonna do Mockingbird, Axis 1, just copy... what do I want to copy? I could probably copy Novice Inspector. Get myself a clue. So one of the things that's important to know about Mockingbird, and this is a mistake that I see quite some people make. The one, like the blue that you pay for this dude, is included in what you get to copy. So mana value less than or equal to the amount of mana spent to cast Mockingbird. So if I cast Axis 0, but I've still spent 1 mana in total, still get a copy of 1-drop. So keep that in mind if you're playing this. Or playing with Mockingbird in general. Amount of times I've seen people pay like 3 mana for a 2-drop. It happens. Alright, so at least the Deep Cavern Bat fails here. The greatest problem on the board right now is that Kaito. The stuns can be quite mean. But we do still have a lot of creatures on the board and we have the advantage. So. Okay, they're just basically throwing Go for the Throats away. I'm okay with that. Like I said, this is the power of the Zoetic Glyph. You cannot reach it. Gonna go for the throat. Kaito swings. I'm just gonna let that go through. I think the opponent has to stun my Zoetic Glyph here. I don't think they have a choice. Yeah. Perfect. So then I was gonna think maybe like just crack the clue, see what we get. But if I want to get rid of Kaito, I need to make a Might here. So that's what I'll be doing. Another land! I mean, this is what happens when you play 23 lands in an aggro deck. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. It is what it is. Alright, so we're back to where we started. I'm gonna see if I can get a practice clue here. Whatever we get, we can play outside of a land. It's another land. Okay. Just gonna put a map on this Novice Inspector. Yeah, I was hoping to draw Bunnycorn, but I should have maybe sequenced it the other way around, you know? But I wanted to make sure that I could activate my Mirex and play whatever card I got, so I didn't want to, like, lead off like that. But, you know, in hindsight, it was the right thing to do. Alright, so we're gonna swing for 4, or not. There's a Flatbed Drowner. It's crazy how much the Flatbed Drowner has, like, increased in stonks since Foundations came out. Alright, so 2 poison, 2 damage. We're gonna put this Bunnycorn in play. And look at this big bunny. A 7/7. Of that card, at least. Outside of just being a 1/1 with lifelink. I'm gonna just make another Might here. Here we go. Another land. See, this is why I believe in 21 land aggro decks. Just making... yeah, just, you know... no reason at all, basically. We're still winning, though. We're still winning despite having double the lands than my opponent has. So that speaks to the power and resilience of this deck list. Okay, friend. There's nothing for you here. I just have lands. There's nothing here. Okay. So, game 1 survived. Now we go to sideboarding. So, let's see. I think we already have a pretty nice matchup here. What are the cards do we want in? What are the cards do we want to take out? I definitely feel like Cryptic Code in here is the right way to go. It's just great value, especially when games go on for much longer. Like, imagine if we had a Cryptic Code on the board here, we could just constantly pick it up and make a new creature. So that would be nice. Definitely want to play that. And then it's about, do we want to play Surge Salvation as well? I'm always a little, like, suspicious about such cards. Another thing that we have to consider is, do we want Normalize? I think, personally, we do not. Because I think the mirror has a lot of very cheap creatures. I don't think I really want to be in a position where I'm not playing a creature out because I want to hold a counterspell. Like, the Dimir deck is very reactive. Plays a lot on, like, your turn. So holding counterspells just means that we're going to be passing a lot of turns, you know, where we're doing nothing because we want to hold up a counter, we can't get on the board. So I think I do not like Normalize here. Normalize also does not counter Kaito with Ninjutsu. I think Normalize, the best thing we counter with this card is like the cat, the Enduring Curiosity, but we do have other answers for that. So Cryptic Code in, I'm going to take Normalize out. You could bring in Glass Casket if you want to like hate a little bit more on their creatures. They are playing both Deep Cavern Bat and Duresses in the main, which is a little unusual. Usually it's like either all Duresses or all Bats. Let's see. I don't hate going in with those Surges, possibly. So, it's between Surge and Casket. I feel like Surge is correct, I think. Because there's one thing they do have is a lot of removal. So, especially after they just got hit by a bunch of creatures. I mean, let's do it. An army of mockingbirds. Love the art in it though, so pretty. My beloved Subterranean Schooner. I love this card. I think it's severely underplayed. It's just that there's so many like other good cards in the 2-drop slot that sometimes it's hard to justify as Subterranean Schooner, but I love it. Alright, but we just drew a card, it kind of makes me not want to do... Well, okay, it depends here, because clearly they're either A, sitting on removal, or like B, sitting on like flashing in a fairy mastermind or something. So I can kind of get behind trying to play Schooner here, because it'll help me a lot with like pressure, maybe helps me like find the lands that I'm looking for. We're currently only have 2 lands to work with, so exploring can get us closer to a land. But I think it's better to develop Schooner here first. The Slasher... Alright, easy. Never mind, easy, easy. Alright, another really cool interaction is that Subterranean Schooner does give 1/1 counters, and Warden of the Inner Sky does want to see 1/1 counters, so... yeah, I'm gonna have to get rid of this, this clue here and get rid of the Slasher. Just simply too scary. So what are we really looking for here? Either for a creature that leaves a map token behind, or a clue token so that we can copy it with the Mockingbird, or a land. Alright, we hit a land. Subterranean Schooner making it so that we hit our 3rd land drop. Sequence it right. I'd love to see it. Shouldered! Oh man. I could get a flying shouldered maybe. No, I can't. Feels bad. Alright, so we gotta come up with something else. It's a 4/5. So I'll just put Cryptico in play. I can tap this, this, and this. You know, I might be... 2, 3. It might be better off doing... Well, then I still can't crew it, though. Yeah, I might just be better off doing it like this, still. A bunny. Well, a bunny does deal with a shouldered, as in like, you know, a 5/5. Can attack through shouldered. We can also give it flying with this. I think it's a keep, but it hurts me not to have any removal for shouldered now. My blue-white artifact aggro decks, I'll end up playing an identified hovership, which I am a huge fan of. I think the card is so powerful. You know, even if it gets removed, in the case you do have artifact removal, your opponent just manifests dread, does not get their creature back. It's a 2/2 vehicle still at the same time. Hits basically everything in standard, minus like the demons. I think it's great. Alright, so what do I get rid of here? I kind of care about my Warden. So I'll just do this. Yeah, shouldered kind of needs to be dealt with. Hopefully they're gonna run out of removal, you know? Okay, so there's 3 mana open here. Please don't be a counter. Please don't be a counter. It probably is. Sure is. Okay. I can put a new Warden in play. Man, we gotta come up with something here. We might want to chump this shouldered, actually. I am considering just doing Schooner here. Try to see if I hit a land. Dusk Rose. Okay, that works too. Shouldered, count your days. Yeah, I think I have to chump it. Like, 12 life is, you know, a little awkward for me. I'd like to copy a shoulder with a Mockingbird, but sometimes we can get what we want, you know? Alright, Soulstone. Pressure is on. So I'm gonna block shouldered with my Warden or chump it. Take 3, then take 5. But we're still doing it, so... Yeah, I think I either have to get rid of my Cryptico, or I think I'll get rid of my Cryptico purely because I don't really have a lot of mana to work with right now. Funny thing, I'm sure maybe there's people in the comments that are going to ask about this, but if you copy... To be fair, I said we don't have a lot of mana. We can fix that. Come to think of it, actually. So we now have a flying land. So technically, we're cheating our way to lands. Which means I could have technically stolen the shouldered. It's just not very... It's a little weird, but... You can. I mean... I don't know. You tell me. Let's, I'm thinking we're just gonna make another warden here. I could make another soulstone too. This is so strange. I'm so tempted, but I shouldn't. I shouldn't. One's fine. One's fine. Let's see. 1, 2, and probably just 3 like this. Nope. So now we have a 4, 5. We got our 3 counters on the warden, so it's looking pretty good here now. So crazy, actually. I mean, I don't think it could have grabbed shoulder there, but like if I waited, then eventually I could have. It's a weird interaction, but really cool at the same time. Ashlizzlle. Okay, now I wish I kept the land on top because I could copy it. Okay. Interesting. One, 2, and 3. I'm kind of looking for maybe some more removal, maybe like a bunny corn, maybe a case of the falcon. Let's see. I'm just trying to figure out if I want to like put this mockingbird in play on the siren as well. Be able to get some more maps, get another like scry going for me. Yeah, maybe I will. I'm just gonna do access 0. I'm just gonna copy the siren. Get another 1, 2, and 3. There's a moment where I can set up like a schooner and try to explore onto it, but I'll do that next turn. Alright. So, if they attack me, they still get to draw a card and they get 4 life, which is not great, but I do have a lot of pressure in the air, enough to win the game. So we'll see. Cut down is... that's fine. You can also animate this flying soulstone sanctuary. So much fun. Okay, opponent decides to not attack. I respect it. So I'm gonna see if I can crew this boat. We can try to explore onto it. Okay, yeah, I'm really cool with having that, I think. We're gonna do 1, 2, and 3, I guess. Make it 7 power. Needs to be blocked then. Oh, Tishana! Okay. That's actually a really cool hit here. I'm surprised that they... Interesting. Okay. I'm a little surprised that they didn't go after, like, my boat animation or something, because you could have shut that down completely. They were very patient there. Right, so... Still gonna swing. Even though I don't have vigilance anymore, it's okay. But they're still in a really, like, awkward spot where they're gonna have to throw some creatures away. Okay, so the second I can remove that Tishana, I can still, you know, get my warden back with flying. Opponent really trying to hold on to that Ashlizzlle. Alright. That's a little bit better for you, I think. So, yeah, we'll take both out. I kind of realized that it wasn't going to get much better for them. I can draw into my case if I want to with the clue. Maybe we have another card on top. So what a cliff would be awesome. Yeah, I think we just gotta take 3 here. A new blocker for the opponent. And they're getting their Ashlizzle's back. tapped, fortunately. Dusk Rose. Okay, I don't think I ever get to lethal here, but it does feel very good to get rid of that Ashlizzlle. Well, let's start off by doing this. So I can hit them, or I can pressure them for 7 here, which means they have to block. They could probably block with the bat, but I'm still kind of in an awkward spot, so I feel like I might want to hold back 1 Siren here, despite it not being like lethal or anything. I do think it's right to do that. Oh, this is actually a really nice draw to have a land here, because we can then also solve the case. Okay, so that happens. We're gonna do case. We're gonna put it in play. I'm gonna use this to get myself white mana. Dusk Rose. Probably just sacrifice this. Get rid of the Ashlizzle. There we go. And then I think we have successfully outgrinded our opponent. Now, the greatest thing about this case of the Filch Falcon is that it's not restricted to sorcery speed solving. So that's really one of the things that I love the most about this card. Like, a lot of the cases are sorcery speed. Our case is not, so it's pretty awesome. Like, the opponent's probably going to try to attack us here. They won't expect it. We animate a clue, turn it into a 4/4, put a blocker in play, take it out, win the game. I mean, we would have won always, right? Because we have 6 damage in the air, but it feels nice to get him like that. Alright. Alright, here we go again. Fortunately, we are on the play. Love winning coin flips with an aggro deck. Looks good. I mean, the tap land is a little awkward. The Mirax a little awkward as well. But we have a turn 2 Warden plus Siren. You get to scry, hopefully, to some good lands. So, hope to get there. The bunnies, I'm always loving to see. Even though I still miss the Steel Seraph in combination with these bunnies. Please come back. Please come back. Yeah, I still always try and find a way to make room for the Steel Seraph one way or another. That's just me, though. Alright, so we'll start off with Spyglass Siren. We get ourselves a map. We can then play the Warden and tap everything to scry and find a land. 1, 2, 3. Land, please. We sequence it like that so that we can at least always get the Warden activation, even if they have a way to remove it. Oh man, I love Zoetic Glyph. Oh, this hurts. This hurts. I have to go. I don't even have another artifact for it, so. Oh man, it always hurts me so much. I wonder if this is Big Red. I have a feeling it's Big Red because they have a Koth Avatar and a Demolition Field. So there's no way to me this is not Big Red. Gotta be. If they play Witchtalker Frenzy, you might just only want to swing with the Glyph here. I think that's worth doing. I think they do play Witchtalker Frenzy in Big Red. Okay. Siren would get torched anyways. Kind of want to do I do want to hold that Normalize for Koth. This is a little unusual of a matchup. I don't think we'll be seeing this in the Arena Championship. Forge is good, but I hope to race it. White land on the top? Yes, but not the right one. Yeah, I think I am in a position where... I mean, Koth does need to find basic mountains. But I don't want to fight Koth. I'm holding Normalize up, I think. I also need to protect this Glyph. So, that's what we're doing. I knew it! I knew it! Can't hide from me, Koth. You cannot hide from me. Alright, that is pretty awesome off the top here. So we're gonna swing for 5 and play Bunny. and hold Normalize up. Let's make sure this gets right. Yep, still holding up white and red. Red, blue. I'm too focused on what my opponent's trying to do. Charming Scoundrel. Okay, so it does put a blocker in play. But I still win. No, Anchorage, we don't have the right mana because of Mirax. I'd have to top deck something. I think it's worth countering. I think there's chances they have removal for my Bunnycorn. I don't think they can easily remove my Glyph, so I'm taking my chances. And it worked out. GG's. Big Red. Wasn't expecting to be sideboarding against Big Red today. Which is a nickname for a, like, red mid-range deck. In case you're like, what is she on about? Not... Mono Red Aggro is not the only way to play Mono Red. There are lovers of Mono Red that want to play Planeswalkers and almost play it like a control deck. So I do like, I'm gonna put the Surge of Salvation in. There you go. That was like me trying to talk Dutch, which makes no sense at all. It's been a long day. Well, we do have the Duskroast Reliquaries to deal with the Forges. They're not super aggressive, so I don't think I want Sheltered. I do think I could see myself thriving with Cryptic Coat, though. I think I can get rid of at least one Duskroast Reliquary. We're going to keep the Normalize. I like the Case, too, because it makes a 4/4. I feel like we probably could get rid of some Mockingbirds, because it could get really awkward if they have a lot of, like, torch effects and I want to fire off a Mockingbird, and if I have no target, then I just have a 1/1 bird. So maybe that's the way to go here. Cryptic Coat has the War 2 on it, which is nice. Yeah, I think the right move is to get rid of the Mockingbirds. We also don't really care about, like, giving our bunnies flying too much, because they're almost playing a control deck. Like, they shouldn't have that many creatures. Outside of probably... I think they play Cruel Claw. Not Cruel Claw. Hired Claw. There you go. Hired Claw. I knew it was something with Claw. Hired Claw. The 1/1 that you just saw. And maybe Monastery Mentor? But I'm not sure. Monastery Mentor? Dude, what is wrong with me? The Monastery Swift... Listen, I've been playing Magic for like 11 hours at this point. It's the thought that counts. Alright, we gotta mull this. The Struggle Bus. This is a tricky one. I think you deal... Or I think you get rid of Cryptic Coat, because Poetic Glyph simply is just that strong. Even though Cryptic Coat does work really nicely with the Warden of the Inner Sky. I think that's my play. Sorry, like, Poetic Glyph has my heart. I can't help it. Cardis is fantastic. 2 Painlands, a little awkward, but hopefully we can deal with some scary things. Problem is, I do need to hit lands. That is a really big problem here, but I feel like I cannot pass the turn here while having played something. I feel like I have to hold up Normalize, because the Eurobresk Forge will just beat me up. I don't have an answer for it right now. Squee? Oh, okay, that's a little unusual too. I'll get rid of that too. Normalize Exile, so there's no way for them to bring Squee back. Okay, so Duskroast Reliquary does give me a little bit of freedom. So I will play Schooner here. Duskroast can pick up the Forge if they have it, even though I don't have a target. A great target right now. I could throw away my Schooner, but... Nemesis? Eh. Man, 2 lands only is kind of unfortunate. Remember when I said I would go 22 lands in this? 2 lands and on Painlands is really awkward. Part of me is tempted to develop Bunnycorn and try and see if I can get myself to a land, but it's dangerous because if they have Torch Tower, then I don't get to explore. So I think the only thing I can do here if I want to deal with Karen, the Screaming Nemesis, sorry, that's my nickname for this thing, is, yeah, just take 2 damage and remove it. This hurts, though. This really hurts. Darker Waste is kind of cursing me here. Could be in a braid. They have it. They're hovering over it. Don't do that. Don't get rid of my Dusk Rose. If I had some lands here, imagine a world where we could have just put this Bunnycorn in play and protect ourselves. Okay, so they have a lot more creatures than I had anticipated them to have. So they're not the typical red, big red deck, okay. I might want to just put in one more Dusk Rose. Get rid of the Mockingbird still. Or like maybe I don't have to believe in Cryptic Code, it depends. It's gonna go like this. I still don't think that Sheltered by Ghosts is right. It's just really awkward there with the 2 Pain lands. Let's do this. Alright, deck, are you... Can you work? What are we doing here? 23 lands, come on, man. Surely you can get it done. Start off with Novice Inspector. Just to make sure I can get that Scry going on the Warden. Alright, hey, we got 3 lands. This is, we're moving up. It's a bit... Okay, you know what? Sure, why not? We can play almost like a tempo strategy here with like holding up Normalize and Surge of Salvation. Don't lightning strike it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Not now. Not now. Okay then. Current problem. We have no threats. I was hoping we had a turn there. I'm just gonna counter that. To do something with my mana. Really looking for a Zoetic Glyph here or something, which is why I don't really want to get rid of the clue. Man, this is looking a lot more awkward than I would hope it to be. Okay, I can hit that with the Dusk Rose. I can't really correct my clue, right? Unless I feel like I'm gonna find something at the top that gives me another artifact, but... It's Lance. I mean, I could sacrifice Novice Inspector too. That might be better, honestly. At least I will still have an artifact in play. Technically, we could put Zoetic Glyph on the Dusk Rose Reliquary. You'd get a Glyph with War too, which is pretty cool. But they will also do whatever they can to get rid of it at the same time. We need a banger. Cracking my clue? Glyph! It's Glyph! I'm going in. Technically, actually, as a matter of fact, if they get rid of this Dusk Rose Reliquary, they just get a 0/0 Hydra, so it's actually a perfect target. I forgot this is a base power and toughness 0/0, dude. Alright, look at that nice ward 2 on that thing. And we still have Surge of Salvation to protect it. We're turning it around. Yeah, there are fishies that they can bring in to not take 5, but they will still take 1, so that's okay. Another card that we really would love to find here is probably Case of the Filch Falcon. Would allow us to put a 4/4 with flying in play. Another Zoetic Glyph, also fine. Probably Bunny Corn. Wardens to help us scribe. We do still have Anchorage attacks left too. But for now, I'm just fully focused on protecting that Dusk Rose. I could stop this, but I just don't think it's worth it. They can make a fish every turn to try and not get hit by the Dusk Rose. Or the Glyph, I guess. It's the Schooner. I'm just gonna swing with the Anchorage here. Anchorage can be a solid win con too. Alright, that's fine. I think I can do... Get this. Get the Schooner. Schooner in play, hold Surge of Salvation. Works out okay. Make your fish. Make your fish, I guess. Once again, this is where Steel Seraph would be real nice because you could give it flying. Anyway, Steel Seraph enjoyers in the chat, make some, or in the comments below, make some noise. Cool. I don't know. Still need to top of the deck to be really nice to me here. Please be nice. If we can get to a position where they waste 2 removal spells to deal with the Dusk Rose, I'd be so happy. Or 2 burn spells or whatever. I'd be so happy. I'm really sitting nicely on the Surge of Salvation here. But I doubt the designer of this deck put this card in the sideboard to have a better matchup against Big Red. It's not really a meta deck right now. Alright, we hit a land. Not really what I was looking forward to. I'll have to throw my map away, see if we can make our top of the deck better. Bunny. Yeah, I'll take Bunny. Bunny! So we're gonna swing it to 6/5. Opponent's gonna make a fish. Probably. Unless they're feeling brave enough to... No fish? They might... Do they want to like make fish and then on their turn they can like sacrifice it to draw a card maybe? Could also be true. Fish in defense mode, second. Oh, just a treasure. Okay, interesting. 5. 7. Could they get like an X6 Hydra or something? Chandra Flame Shaper. Whoa. Oh man, we could really beat them up here. Wait, so Chandra, okay, so what does that do for you right now? Nothing, I don't think. Because they cannot remove my Dusk Rose, so they have to uptick. What do they get? Jaya? Koth? They need to have a blocker in play here. I mean, respect. Really cool deck that the opponent's playing. The new Chandra. 7 mana, 8 loyalty. If I'm casting a 7 mana Planeswalker, I'm playing Commander. Maybe. Maybe. It's very rare for me to spend 7 mana on one card. I like my aggro decks, though. Yeah, if this opponent does not have a blocker in play, they've lost. They know there's a bunny on top, so there's maybe a like, you have the 3 mana that you need to use, like, right now, yeah. Alright, the only thing that can save them is, like, a 2-drop here. It could be, Access 1 Hydra. Ooh. Alright, I'm pretty sure that means we just have him. Bunny. We're gonna crew the bunny. We're gonna crew the ship with the bunny. Swing for 9. Even with the surge, I'm still feeling great as well. Sure. Doesn't matter. There's nothing they can do with 1 mana, especially nothing that, like, beats Surge of Salvation. But hey, at least I got to play the new Chandra against us. That's pretty cool. Alright. Got another win. Deck feels great.